What you are about to hear will absolutely blow your mind, because we are diving deep into one of the most dramatic celebrity situations that has everyone talking right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the exact moment you should do it, because you are not going to want to miss what we're about to reveal here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a story that involves betrayal, shadiness, wedding drama, and enough celebrity tea to keep you entertained for the next few minutes. Seriously, stick around because by the end of this video, you will completely understand why everyone on social media has been absolutely losing their minds over these revelations. So here's what's happening. Selena Gomez just did something that has sent shockwaves through the entire celebrity community. And honestly, when you hear what she posted, you are going to understand why people are connecting all the dots and making wild accusations. The situation involves some of her former closest friends, and the implications are absolutely massive. We are talking about friendships that seemed unbreakable just months ago, and now sources are saying everything has completely fallen apart behind the scenes. The reason this is such a big deal is because these weren't just regular friendships. These were the kind of relationships that celebrities parade all over social media, showing everyone how close they supposedly are. Now everything has changed, and the signs are everywhere if you know where to look. Let me paint you the picture of what led to this absolute explosion of drama. Not too long ago, Selena Gomez tied the knot with her partner Benny, and this was supposed to be one of the most joyful moments of her life. It was an intimate celebration with people who truly matter to her, which is actually quite beautiful when you think about it. However, this is where things took a devastating turn. The wedding happened, and what should have been a time for celebration became the catalyst for something much darker lurking beneath the surface. According to inside sources and reports, Selena was expecting her former best friends Nicole Peltz and Brooklyn Beckham to show up and be part of this special moment in her life. That's what best friends do, right? They show up for each other during life's biggest milestones. But here's the kicker. Brooklyn and Nicole didn't show up. Not only that, but they also didn't even send a congratulatory message. No text, no phone call, no Instagram comment, absolutely nothing. Imagine being on one of the most important days of your entire life and realizing that people you considered your inner circle couldn't even be bothered to send a simple message wishing you happiness. This is where the heartbreak begins, and this is why sources close to Selena are now saying she feels completely and utterly betrayed. The damage wasn't just about their physical absence. It was about the complete lack of effort and the absence of any acknowledgement whatsoever. For someone like Selena, who is known for being incredibly loyal and giving 100% to her friendships, this rejection hit differently. What makes this situation even more compelling is that sources have revealed Selena is now convinced that this friendship is completely broken beyond repair. There's no fixing it, no coming back from this. The fact that Nicole and Brooklyn showed such indifference during such a crucial moment sent a clear message, and that message was that they simply didn't care. Selena interpreted their silence as a sign that maybe, just maybe, they were upset that she got married. Perhaps they had different expectations for how her love life should play out. Or maybe they were hoping for something completely different from the trajectory of her personal life. Whatever the reason, the outcome is the same. A friendship that meant everything to Selena has become something broken and empty. Now you might be wondering if there's been any official response to this situation, and interestingly enough, there has been. A source close to Selena told various media outlets that there's actually no drama happening here, believe it or not. They claim that Selena's wedding was meant to be private, intimate, and exclusively for her inner circle. According to this source, relationships naturally evolve over time, and while Selena and Nicole aren't as close anymore, there are only good wishes coming from Selena's side. But here's what you need to understand. Actions speak louder than words, and the actions of Brooklyn and Nicole were deafening in their silence. Whether or not there's drama officially acknowledged by sources, the emotional impact is real and it's devastating. But wait, there's more to this story. And this is where things get absolutely wild. People have started connecting Selena to another major controversy, and this one involves her ex-boyfriend, Justin Bieber. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a blast from the past, right? But hold on, Because this connection is making waves across social media, and people are convinced they have figured out something huge. Recently, Selena appeared on the Disney show Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, and during one particular episode, she was having an on-screen conversation with her television daughter about matters of the heart and romantic decisions. In this scene, Selena's character, who is Alex Russo, tells her daughter something quite profound about following her heart and making decisions based on what feels right. But then Selena says something that absolutely caught everyone's attention. She says, and I quote, "If you really like this guy, follow your heart." She then continues by saying, "Oh yeah, as someone whose type is bad boys who you think you can fix but you can't, so you end up writing songs about them." When people heard this line, they immediately started making connections. Fans of the show started posting on every social media platform that this had to be a direct shot at Justin Bieber. The theory goes something like this. Justin Bieber is a bad boy type, and Selena wrote multiple songs about him that were inspired by their relationship. Therefore, this line from the show must be her throwing shade at him and bringing up old wounds. Twitter absolutely exploded with theories and accusations. People were posting things like, 7 years later and she's still shading him, or even more dramatic statements about how she's married now but apparently still can't move past her ex. The energy was intense, and the fans were absolutely convinced they had uncovered evidence of ongoing tension between these two former lovebirds. But here's where you need to think critically about what you're seeing and hearing. In the show, Alex Russo is a fictional character who doesn't sing. She's not a performer or a musician in the storyline. So when Selena as Alex is talking about someone writing songs about bad boys, she's actually breaking character in a meta kind of way. She's acknowledging the fact that Selena Gomez, the person, has written songs about romantic situations. But Alex Russo, the fictional character, wouldn't do that. The other thing to consider is that Selena could have been talking about literally anyone else. What about The Weeknd? Selena dated The Weeknd at one point in her life. Her line could easily be about him or any other person from her dating history. The point is that people are making huge assumptions based on very little concrete evidence. It's like a game of telephone where the original message gets twisted and distorted as it passes from person to person. By the time it reaches the masses, it's become something entirely different from what was originally said or intended. This is exactly what happened with this particular line from the show, but the theories didn't stop there because honestly, social media never stops. It just keeps evolving and finding new angles to explore. Someone brought up an old song called Hope for Love, which Selena apparently wrote but never released officially. According to some sources, this unreleased song was supposedly about Justin Bieber. Then people started pointing out that Justin Bieber named his son Jack Blues, and in the lyrics of this unreleased song, there's a reference to Blue Jack in the lines where she sings, "Blue Jack, relax, we don't need that feedback." Now people are theorizing that Justin saw this reference in the lyrics and decided to name his son after it. This is an absolutely enormous reach if you think about it logically. Think about how many people are named Jack and how many people use the word blue in different contexts every single day. The chances of this being a deliberate reference are incredibly slim. But social media is a place where people love to connect dots, even when those dots are hundreds of miles apart and have no business being connected in the first place. The reality is that thousands of people could come up with the combination of Blue and Jack independently without ever having heard of this unreleased song. It's actually one of the most common types of names you could possibly create. Yet people are taking this as absolute proof of some grand scheme or hidden message between these two ex-lovers. What's really happening here is something that plays out constantly in celebrity culture. Fans of different stars create elaborate narratives about their favorite celebrities, and then they hunt for evidence to support those narratives. It's like confirmation bias on steroids mixed with creative storytelling. Once someone suggests that something might be a dig at an ex-lover, suddenly every ambiguous statement gets interpreted through that lens. Every joke becomes an insult. Every reference becomes a betrayal. Every coincidence becomes part of a larger conspiracy. This is the nature of celebrity gossip and entertainment culture. Now let's step back and think about what might actually be happening here. Could Selena have meant those things as subtle jabs at Justin? Absolutely, it's possible. Could she have just been making a joke as part of her character that happens to reflect her real-life experience? Also absolutely possible. Could she have been thinking about someone else entirely? Again, absolutely possible. The truth is that without direct confirmation from Selena herself, we are essentially just guessing and filling in the gaps with our own interpretations and biases. We see what we want to see because that's how the human brain works. What makes this entire situation so fascinating is how it reveals the power that social media has over celebrity narratives. A single line from a television show becomes the subject of intense analysis and debate. Millions of people who have no direct connection to any of these celebrities are spending their time trying to decode hidden meanings and uncover secrets. It's like a massive collaborative game where everyone is trying to solve the puzzle, except the puzzle might not even exist. The celebrities at the center of all this drama are living their lives while fans create entire fictional stories about them based on snippets of information. Let's also consider the broader context here. Selena has been through a lot in her personal life and in her romantic history. She's dated multiple people and has experienced heartbreak, just like every other person on Earth. The difference is that her heartbreaks are public, analyzed, and dissected by millions of people worldwide. When you go through that kind of intense scrutiny, it's natural that people will create connections between your past relationships and your current statements or actions. It becomes almost impossible for a celebrity like Selena to just exist without every word she speaks being analyzed for hidden meaning. The friendships and the romantic drama are interconnected in this story because they both showcase the complex nature of celebrity relationships. On one hand, you have the friendship situation where silence and absence speak volumes about the state of a relationship. On the other hand, you have the romantic past where every statement could potentially be a message to an ex-lover. The common thread running through all of this is the idea that relationships, whether romantic or platonic, are fragile things that can break down when people don't show up for each other or when they feel undervalued. What we're witnessing is the evolution of celebrity culture in the age of social media. Everything is instant, everything is documented, and everything is subject to public interpretation. There's no privacy, no room for ambiguity, and no space for people to simply exist without their every move being scrutinized. The celebrities themselves sometimes contribute to this by posting on social media, appearing on shows, and giving interviews that fuel speculation and gossip. Other times, they're just living their lives and people create entire narratives around innocent actions or words. The wedding situation with Selena is particularly telling because it represents a moment where the gap between appearance and reality becomes visible. On the surface, Selena had an intimate wedding celebration. But underneath that celebration was the stark realization that some people she considered close friends didn't think she was worth acknowledging during this major life event. That's a powerful statement about the nature of those relationships and about what people truly value when it comes to showing up for each other. It also raises questions about social media culture and whether friendships that are heavily publicized on social platforms are ever truly genuine or if they're just performance art. The Justin Bieber angle adds another layer to this story because it connects past romantic drama to present situations. When you have a history with someone that was played out publicly through songs, social media posts, and paparazzi photos, it becomes almost impossible to completely move past that history. Every new romantic relationship, every new life event, and every new statement gets filtered through the lens of that past relationship. It creates a narrative framework that's hard to escape, even if you actively try to do so. The fans, the media, and the general public all have a vested interest in keeping that past alive because it's interesting, and it gives them something to talk about. What's important to recognize is that all of this analysis and speculation is happening without the direct input of the people involved. We're hearing from sources, from insiders, from people who claim to have information but aren't willing to attach their names to their claims. We're seeing snippets of television episodes and social media posts that are open to interpretation. We're making massive assumptions based on very limited information. This is the nature of celebrity gossip. And while it's entertaining, it's important to remember that it's not necessarily the truth. It's a version of events that's been filtered through multiple sources and interpreted through multiple lenses. The real story here isn't necessarily about whether Selena was shading Justin or whether her former friends should have sent her a message. The real story is about how we as a society consume and create narratives about celebrities. We treat them like characters in an ongoing drama where we get to be both audience and detective. We hunt for clues, we make connections, and we create stories that entertain us. Sometimes those stories are accurate, but often they're just elaborate fantasies that we've constructed based on partial information and speculation. The celebrities at the center of these stories are real people with real feelings, but we often treat them like characters whose primary purpose is to entertain us. As you watch the continued unfolding of these situations, remember to consume this information with a critical eye. Think about the sources of the information and consider whether those sources might have their own agendas or biases. Think about alternative explanations for the things you're seeing and hearing. Don't assume that the most dramatic interpretation is automatically the correct one. And most importantly, if you've stuck with me this entire time and you're still interested in hearing more stories like this, then absolutely subscribe to this channel, because there are constantly new developments in celebrity culture and new stories emerging every single day. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications so you never miss an update on these incredible stories.